Welcome back, guys. This is season 11. I just want to say I missed you guys so much. Thank you for sticking with us all through season 10. It's a new season now. We promise to bring you education, entertainment, debate. Trust me, this season is jam-packed and it's going to be so interesting. We want to thank our past sponsors who have joined us again. Food Booth and Awala by Ali. I can't begin to tell you guys how amazing this season is. In fact, don't be surprised if you see me with my turban off, because my brain will try to compute everything that is going on, even in today's discussion. We see a lot of couples, that are planning a wedding. They spend a long time, even a year. The guest list, the vendors, the venue, their gowns, and then they spend just a short time, maybe just one afternoon, preparing for the marriage itself. Today that has to change, so that is going to be our focus of discussion for today. What you need to know before you say I do. Now, let me ask both of you. I'm sure you've seen thousands of couples who are not just dating, not just engaged, but about to get married. I mean, when they sit across from you, what sometimes shocks you about them? What sometimes do you think that these couples are lacking in their preparation, especially not just for the wedding, but for marriage? I would go with you first, Pastor Elizabeth.
Okay, thank you. And I'd like to say hi and a big thank you to our viewers. Most of the time, these people or counselors that come, they are so ignorant about a whole lot of things, as to even where to begin, where to start, and how to go about.
Sorry.
The vendors to look out for, the kind of person they want to marry. They have no idea. And so what I usually do is that if I see anyone coming to my counseling session, what I do is I sit them down. How ready are you? Do you have any idea at all about marriage? Have you read any books? Have you, ever gone to any marriage counseling class or anything like that? If not, then I sit them down. I first of all ask them, to pray about it. Allow God or the Holy Spirit to lead them into making the right choices as far as their partners are concerned. And then I talk to them about, things that they need to know, preparations, preparations towards how well prepared are you working? Do you live alone? Do you have, you live with parents? Things like that, basic things that, I need to know, and then for them to also know and to let them be mentally prepared, and then physically prepared, spiritually prepared before they get into the marriage.
Yeah. Doc.
Mm-hmm. Some of the things that shock me is that the partners, especially the men, they don't know the number of times their wife-to-be has gotten pregnant. Yeah. How many abortions they've had, their resource factor, whether they are A positive or A negative, like whether they're negative or positive resource, they don't know. And they don't know if there are any chronic conditions in both families, and that's alarming.
Well, guys, this is, even I am shocked. Opening the conversation like this, you should know what to expect today. Don't forget to like, comment, share. Most importantly, subscribe. Today, I'm sitting down with the experts and I'm going to have them now to introduce themselves. My lovely lady to my immediate left.
I am Pastor Elizabeth Kojo. I'm a pastor, obviously. I'm a pastor and a marriage counselor. And I've counseled for over 25 years, experience. And so I also fellowship with the Holy Hill Assemblies of God Church. I'm an associate pastor there. Yes. I also do appearances, at bridal showers and wedding ceremonies. And so what I do is with the bridal showers, I'm being invited to come pray with the bride. We sing praises, songs, dance, have fun, just to calm the bride, before she gets into the marriage or before the D-Day, So I pray, make declarations into her life, and then pray with her, encourage her, and then we do have lots of fun. And then at the wedding ceremony too, I help them cut their cake and make declarations over them, and then bless them, so that they'll be spiritually ready, physically ready, mentally ready. And so this is what I do, but for a small fee though, and so this is what I do.
Pastor Elizabeth, you're welcome. Thank you for joining
Thank
us. My lady.
Hi guys. I am Dr Afia Ajinsam Amponsa, a medical doctor, an author, and an entrepreneur. That's put into a nutshell. I'm a women's health advocate. I believe in building systems where women understand themselves. I'm a big advocate for preventive medicine. So before the disease gets to a very critical stage, you should know what is going on with you, basically. I mean, how can you enter into a relationship without knowing who you are? How do you expect your partner to know you? I do consultations virtually with the hospital I'm working, and I'm also a co-founder of Better Health Africa, advocating preventive medicine. I'm also the lead organizer and the founder of the Doctor Next Door Network, where we recently in January hosted the largest female health screening in Ghana, and to screen 3,000 women in 30 hours for my 30th birthday.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's just kind of who I am. I recently developed this habit of advocating publicly through social media for content. That wasn't the idea, but then that's how it kind of evolved, because I really have a deep sense that women should thrive. They should track their menstrual cycle, honor their hormones, do routine checkups, honor their inner strength and health, and then vital things that they should be looking out for, and educate themselves before they medicate. That's short form thrive. So that's in a nutshell who I am. If you see me on your screens talking about anything at all, just give me a like, a share. I'll be happy.
I told you guys we have the heavyweights today. Between the two of them, you can see, how much expertise and knowledge that is on our table today. So, Mommy, Pastor Elizabeth, please, I want to start with you.
Okay.
Couples often use this word, compatible. We are compatible. We are not compatible. But in terms of compatibility, what does that actually mean, and how would someone like you assess compatibility?
So when we hear this word, most people think it's like having the same personality with your partner, or same character with your partner. But actually, that's not what it is. It means that having similarities with in vision, goals, aspirations, likes and dislikes, and then also reasoning with your partner. In other words, you want to live in harmony and in peace. Okay. And so you ask yourself, what I'm seeing, are you seeing the same thing? Are we in line? I mean, we're going the same way. If not, then there's no way you can be compatible. You can live together in harmony and in peace. So the bottom line is to, have the same goals, same aspirations and all that, similarities in that, same vision, so that you can live in harmony and in peace.
Would you say that there's such a thing as emotional compatibility?
Yeah, somehow, yes, I would say that, because if I have a problem, an issue that, I am so emotional about, or I'm sad about something, I should think that my partner should also, empathize with me, like feel the same way, and, give me that kind of support that I would need.
Yeah.
So that I can overcome that challenge or that, emotional trauma or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so I think so,
Yeah.
I think.
And what about spiritually? Do you think that there's such a thing as spiritual compatibility?
Yes, very, very important. What we believe in as a couple, especially spiritual, when it comes to spiritual beliefs, it's very, very, very key. It's very important. I can say that I speak in tongues when, my partner doesn't believe in that. You see? And so how do we live in harmony? How do we live in peace? And so I must make sure before I choose a partner, I know what I'm getting into. If he believes in the Holy Spirit baptism, that is with the evidence of speaking in tongues, then I know that, we are on the same line. We understand the same things.
So now I would love to ask both of you. I think Dr. Afia, I would let you go first. What are some of the conversations that couples avoid before they get engaged, or are most likely to avoid? And then you see these topics coming up immediately after the wedding or in their first year of marriage. How do they handle that?
That's amazing, because it's something that we ignore. I feel like the society we live in, we believe that if you don't know, it doesn't hurt you, and it does hurt you eventually. For instance, sickling status, people don't care to bother, especially the men. Like, if they are they are fine. They know that they can marry anybody on the earth. There's just some swag about it. They don't care about their sickling status or the family history, chronic diseases, fertility, both male and female. Whether they've done a semen analysis before to know how good their sperms are, or if the woman has any conditions that could affect her fertility, like PCOS. They feel like it's something that is personal to me. I've not been in this situation before, so then I can't really know if I can get pregnant or not. Let me just marry first and let's see how it goes. After all, I'm wearing the ring. It does affect the marriage eventually, when after you get married, there are certain sicknesses that are coming up, or you do have a child, the child gets autistic, it becomes a burden on both parents, or you give birth, the child is a sickler. And now all your resources that you had previously spoken about to spend on building your house, building your family, your investment, all those conversations and finances are going to treating a child who is not as you would desire. And these are because of conversations that you didn't have before, or you thought were not important. Or for instance, chronic diseases in families. So you feel like, okay, knowing your partner is enough, but your partner comes from a family. He or she has a heritage. He or she has an existing makeup that made the person the way the person is. So even if the person is not showing any signs or symptoms of disease now, in the next 5-10 years, what is expected to come up, and what are we doing about it now? So for instance, you would find out that the person has a family history of hypertension. Probably the grandfather died of hypertension, or the father currently is a hypertensive. You feel like knowing the person is enough, so you are not concerned about the family history of the person. You get married along the line, the person ends up having a stroke. Means that the person has even skipped the hypertension and gone to a stroke, and now you're married and you're left with a partner that is paralyzed on one side. You're taking care of the partner, and then you feel like, this is not what I expected in marriage. Yes, marriage has its good times and bad times, but then you are well able to manage the bad times once you have a clear understanding of what to expect. So those are the things they generally avoid before they get married.
And how about you, Pastor Elizabeth? What are some of the things you see them avoiding that come up later on in the marriage?
Okay, most of the time, what I realize is that, people don't like to talk about sex. They like to, like expectations and sex, how many times they want to have it, or, what are their expectations. People don't like to discuss these things.
I think our culture has made us like
yes,
that.
because of our culture, tribes, tribal differences, culture, traditions, and all that. So it's very difficult for couples to discuss about sex. They don't know what to expect, only for them to get into the marriage, and then they realize, oh, this is actually what I'm seeing. Let me tell you a story.
Please.
There was this couple that I counseled, right? And what happened was that they had a beautiful wedding. They got married, and they were happy. But then along the line, when they are making love, the guy would say that, oh, I want to be romantic. And so he would bring ice cream, pour it on the lady's stomach, and then be licking the ice cream and all that. The lady felt like, oh, this is nice, this is romantic. She didn't have any problem with that. And then the second time, he brought jollof. He brought jollof.
What is going on here?
She didn't see that coming, but then that's what, so he poured the jollof a little bit on the tummy. So, oh, that's where I want to eat the jollof and all that. And the lady felt a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But she had to really, compromise.
Wow.
And allow the guy or the husband to eat the jollof. And then the third time, he brought kebab.
And she said, Master, please.
Can you imagine? He brought
Cross the line.
And removed the kebab from the stick and put them on there. And close to, the
intimate areas.
And the lady was like, no. This is a no. You are just going too far. I don't want it. And so she became upset. She got angry. And, she didn't want to make love. And the guy said, well, this is what I want. And it became a big issue. And the guy became upset. He said, okay, fine. If that's not what you want, then I think sex, it's a no.
Wow. He has a fetish.
And, see, they didn't discuss these things before the wedding. They didn't talk about these things, and for her to realize that, oh, this is what my husband wants, when making love to me. And so it got so serious that they were not talking, they were not making love, and she had to call me. You see, where I came in, I had to explain things to the guy that, no, this is not right. This is not right. You can't do things that your partner is not happy with. You understand? You can't do things that your partner is not happy with. And so try to understand her and then come up with, sex is not meant to be like that. And apart from even this, there are others too that they want to make love through the back. You see? Through the anus. And some women are not comfortable with that. But it's all because these things are not discussed. You see, these things are not discussed before. And so you get into the marriage and these are surprises that, come up. And it's unfortunate that sometimes it can lead to serious, problems, issues that they cannot handle. And so we advise that, you discuss these things. It's not a sin, or asking for too much to discuss sex before marriage.
I mean, definitely, depending on your values, as a Christian, you expect that, yes, maybe they are not engaging in premarital sex, but once you are engaged leading up to marriage, these are some of the questions that I guess you should be asking each other.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Some of the questions to, things that they avoid is about finances. They don't talk a lot about, budgeting, what goes into what, having joint account or not. They feel like, once we get married, these things will take care of themselves.
Yeah.
But only to find out, in money, it's a big issue in marriages.
It's a very big deal, and I feel like
in marriages,
besides infidelity, it's like, I would even say, is it the number one or the number two killer of divorce? Yeah.
And it's all because couples or would-be couples don't they don't discuss these things, for them to have clear understanding of what their partners expect or what they're looking up for. And so they get into the marriage and these things come up. No, I don't want to have a joint account with you. Or even if they have a joint account, one wants to have control over the account, and then, lord it over the other partner. And it turns into conflict, argument, and before you know, the unfortunate has happened. So these are some of the things that
I think you are very right. And again, that is also unfortunately a very cultural thing, because in the West, you find people doing 50-50, everyone is contributing to the mortgage, to the this, to the that. But as Africans or as Ghanaians, you don't talk about, even your colleague. You don't know how much your colleague is earning in the office.
That's right.
You are being paid something. They are being, when it's payday, nobody, talks about it. So you're very right on that score. Pastor Elizabeth, you've raised very, very important topics about sex, about finances, but now there are other factors when it comes to something like in-laws, how children will be raised, the schools that they would go to, and all, roles in the home, who is responsible for domestic rules, who's responsible for paying school fees and all that. Please, how many times do you see couples being genuinely on the same page or genuinely aligned before going into the marriage?
When it comes to certain issues like in-laws, finances, and all the roles that each partner has to play in the home, this is something that they don't really discuss into details. And these things sometimes lead into conflicts, misunderstandings, and all that. But if only couples will have a list of the things that they want to do, and then discuss them. Who pays these bills, who does this, house chores, running errands, in-laws. When it comes to in-laws, what do we send to your mom? What do we send to my mom? Or visits. When it comes
I was
to
about
visiting,
to say that our in-laws are allowed to stay over. All those
are they
things.
allowed to stay over? I had an issue with a couple where they lived in a single room. Okay, and then when the lady got pregnant and had a child, the mother, because she had cesarean, so the mother had to come and help her daughter. And when she came, there was only a single room. And to make things worse, she came with a little girl along to be helping. And you can imagine just a single room with 4 people. And they had issues with who is going to sleep on the bed. Who is going to sleep on the bed?
I'm even thinking that they have bigger fish to fry at this point. But
who's going to sleep on the bed? The obviously it was the lady's mother that came. Okay, and the daughter feels like, oh, my mom, I can't let her sleep on the floor. I can't let her sleep on. So it's like she wants her mom to sleep with her on the bed. The husband too feels like, oh, no, I think let's get a mattress. Put your mom on, so that you and I can share This is our marital, bed, and we can share. And it also brought a big issue.
But this is a very tricky one, because, to be honest, well, this is for me, I think both of them are valid. Both of them are very valid. Although at the end of the day, it's about the well-being of the mother and the child, and we all know that maybe it's just for a time, it's just for a short time. Probably we can say the gentleman could compromise, but then it becomes like, we don't take men's mental health into consideration as well. You see?
Yeah. So what I did was I called the gentleman and spoke to him. I said, your mother-in-law is already here. You don't need to, fight over this. Just for a short period, allow her, or you get the mattress, okay? Because your wife had cesarean. There's no way, for the next 1 month or two, she will not be well for you to have any intimacy with her. So just allow your mother-in-law to stay with her. Some people too will tell you, no, my marital bed, I'm not going to share. No way.
Wow.
No way.
Wow.
And so these are some of the things, that come up, and they need to discuss. You see, they need to discuss and be in one agreement.
Yeah.
Agree to whatever you decide to do, the list of things that you have put on paper, to do. Who plays this role? Who is going to do this? And when you align them, you realize that, you have like complete harmony in the home, peace in the home, where there won't be any conflict over, frivolous things or trivial things like that.
Yeah.
So
you are absolutely right. And sometimes there's no formula, there's no rule book, we know. But the tiniest of things can cause friction. I remember between my husband and I, two of the issues were, one, I wanted to compound my last name. I wanted it to be a combination of my maiden name and then my married name. My husband said, no way. No, absolutely no way. And I thought, like, why? Why would you say that? But even something like that, I know can cause a lot of friction.
It's a big deal to some men,
Yeah.
A lot of men won't allow them to their wives to use their
previous names.
Yes.
Yeah. and Dr. Afia, I know you've already mentioned some of the things that couples should be looking out for, but if you can tell us now in specifics, what is the timeline? What tests couples need to be taking, when they need to be taking it, and other maybe medical questions that couples need to be asking before they get married?
That's amazing. The tests, like you said, previously mentioned, we divide them. So let's do like the blood tests, the workups, your past medical and surgical history, and then we move on to fertility. So for the basic tests you're supposed to do, and sexual and reproductive health as well, those are different ones. So for the blood test, you're looking at your rhesus factor, G6PD, blood group. Some people don't know their blood group, and their genotype, your sickling genotype. So whether you are AAS, AA, SC, what that means and how that affects your relationship, your rhesus factor. So if you are rhesus positive or rhesus negative, you are not just O positive for being O positive sake. That affects the kind of blood you receive. When it comes to you having a surgery and you need blood donors, who can you call on? What system do you have governing that? And even for the rhesus factor during pregnancy, if your partner is rhesus positive and you are rhesus negative during pregnancy, you are most likely to be given anti-D or Rogam, just so that it can protect the pregnancy. Otherwise, you keep having spontaneous abortions before the pregnancy even progresses, because you are carrying something that your body is fighting, basically. So if you don't know all those things medically, you enter into the marriage and then now you're having spontaneous abortions or miscarriages, and you're fighting over things that could have been checked or still can be checked during the marriage to give you a better perspective. The sexual profile, for instance, HIV is a very important one. Syphilis is also important. Then you go to hepatitis B, hepatitis A, all those things that have the potential of affecting your partner's life, because if you have any of the hepatitis and it's transferable by body fluids, it means even sharing the same cutlery can also spread that. So all that is important. Then the fertility, you focus mainly on your semen analysis and the woman. And I always say that as a woman, even before you get married, have a fair idea of how your hormones act. Have a fair idea of your menstrual cycle. Track your menstrual cycle. It is not after marriage that you go and download an app because now you want to get pregnant. No. And I just remembered something as well. Family planning is so important. That is a conversation that doesn't come up. It's assumed that, oh, okay, but the partner is like, okay, I want to have, intimacy with you without any boundaries whatsoever, but you're not ready to have a child. So what are your options? Are you going for hormonal? Are you going for an IUD? What is your plan after childbirth? Are you going to have your tubes tied, or you want a vasectomy? Why are we not talking about vasectomy? There are so many depths to the premarital counseling when it comes to the medical part that we ignore. It's even me sitting here that I'm actually remembering so many things. I'm like, couples even talk about the birth spacing of their children, or even if they do talk about it, how is this hormonal IUD or hormonal implants going to affect my spouse? Because if you're going for a hormonal IUD, definitely it's going to affect how you even relate to your partner. It's going to ruin your ovulation. It's going to sometimes make you put on weight. So is your partner ready to understand that these are the sacrifices you're going to be making, being on the IUD or being on the implant or going for the injection? It's a financial commitment. If you take it out and babies are delaying, is it your fault? Is it not your fault? I honestly advocate that before you get married, aside doing these counseling and these premarital tests, you should have like a family doctor or something that you as a couple, a person that you go to that can, counsel you and guide you through, so that your medical history is not scattered. There's something that you do. There's something that we are doing at Better Health, for instance, where we are going to come to you periodically 3 months, 6 months to do your test, and you can have it on an app, on a platform where you can track both you and your partner's labs and everything. So you know when this is due, when you're having a diabetic screening, when you're having a kidney panel, wellness checks, thyroid function, all those things are going to be planned. Now, when it comes to the marriage itself and things that we seemingly ignore, or most of the times before a couple will come to us, they've already made a decision. They've started counseling. They've bought their ring. They are ready. But then the pastor says that you have to go and do the labs and come. And that's when they are now finding out that, oh, this person is AS and I'm AA. I'm also AS. Now, what the risk that gives you is that if you marry someone who is also AS and you are AS, you have a 25% chance
of having an SS.
No, having an SS is actually 50%.
Wow.
Yes. And 25 chance of having AA and 25 chance of having AS.
Wow.
So that means if you're having 4 children, the chances of you having AA is one of your children. The chance of you having AS is one of your children. And the chance of you having SS is 2 of your children. Is 1/4 to half.
Yeah, half.
Basically.
Yeah.
So all these calculations and what guidelines, if you've fallen so deeply in love, what exactly because you find out later. So if you are deep in it and you want to go ahead, like I'm a huge advocate, have that conversation. Okay, I'm AS, you're AS, we've walked this journey together, there's nothing we can do. I don't know if you guys know, even if someone is AS or SS, you can do a further analysis. The name is not coming to me, but then you can do a further analysis to see the level of the sickling you have, because some of them are actually fetal hemoglobin. So when you have fetal hemoglobin, it can turn into an A, because I've had a couple like that where they were not going to have that conversation because the man is AA and then the woman
automatically
it's AS, it's a blanket cover. He has double A, so whatever you bring, he doesn't care. But then assuming that now your children are all maybe AS, instead of any AA, and then they are having crisis. How are you going to respond to that? And another important one that they don't talk about is, if we are not having children, what is our next plan? This is something new that we are still developing. What is our next plan? Are we doing IVF? Are we doing IUI? Before, those conversations were not happened. It's expected that you would go into the marriage, you would have your intercourse, you would give birth, you would birth. But now, if I tell you the rate of surrogacy in Ghana, even where I am alone,
surrogacy,
exactly,
we are embracing that now as a people. I'm impressed.
On average, I see 5 surrogates in a week.
In a week,
Yeah,
I am very impressed with Ghanaians if that's the case. Wow.
exactly. So these are conversations that, honestly speaking, it just came to me when we were here. I'm
so
people don't
sorry.
have
For
these
the purpose of
conversations.
education, can you break down what surrogacy is, like in layman terms?
Surrogacy is someone carrying your pregnancy. So it's more like IVF by a different human being. So we get the woman's egg, we get the man's semen, we fertilize it in the lab, and then we implant it in another person. So it's your child genetically, because it's from both of you.
Yes.
But you are just not carrying the pregnancy. And sometimes, aside maybe for cosmetic reasons, sometimes the woman, her womb genuinely can't carry the child,
Right.
because of previous bad obstetric history, or she has some enzymes or proteins in her that are going to break down the developing child before the child develops. So it's advised that, okay, that's fine, you have someone. And it's so beautiful in the sense that throughout the period, you are the money you pay is also going to cover up for everything that the surrogate is going to eat.
Okay.
So you can determine, okay, I want her to be eating only fruits, vegetables, a balanced diet. I want my child to have this kind of hair. And we've gone so advanced in medicine and fertility medicine that you can actually choose the sex of your child.
You are joking.
Yes, because you are doing it in the lab, basically.
Wow.
And some decide that they want twins, and then someone else carries it for them. When the woman is due and you go to the hospital, it's only C-section. She cannot push.
Okay.
Because if she pushes, she will have
Her
an
DNA
attachment.
is-
Yes, the blood will mix and she would have an attachment to the child. So the parents, the actual parents of the child, never know who the person carrying is. It's a law in Ghana. You can't know. You never see the person the whole 9 months.
I saw something like that.
Yeah.
You know, with a Nigerian couple.
Yeah.
They blocked.
Yeah, you can't
Can
know.
Can I ask why that is advisable? That
It
means
is
they are not
highly
entirely
advisable.
part of the pregnancy journey.
No. Because if that happens, now the surrogate knows who the parents are and can after the contract be demanding for more things, or can find out where the child is and then say that is my child, or go for the child later because she physically carried the child. So to limit, all these extra attachments, you have your C-section, they bring the baby out, the parents take it, then you go into recovery. That's all.
Sharp like that.
Sharp.
Fast.
It's a contract. But then I've seen a couple that they are in Canada, and unfortunately the woman couldn't bear 14 years. Man is a very nice Canadian man. She's a black woman. They did it in the lab. They wanted a girl to surrogate, but then because they are Canadian, so they took the surrogate to Canada. So that one, they signed a contract and she knew. And then when she gave birth, she became the nanny of the child.
That's dangerous.
That's dangerous.
I'm sorry. This sounds like a Nollywood movie.
that was their makeup. So because they had to send her to Canada anyway, because they want their child to be Canadian.
Yes, of course.
Yes. So they had to see who was carrying the child. And if you've carried the child and we don't have a nanny there, then stay and be our nanny. So it all depends on the couple, honestly.
It could be a win-win too.
Or you go for adoption. These are conversations couples should have.
Yeah.
We should stop having those, what do you like? Where do you want to live? Do you want to live at Trasacco?
When they are dating.
Yeah.
And we'll have 3 children. And we'll have 2 boys and 1 girl.
We'll go to Dubai for our honeymoon.
Yes.
Please get serious. Ask the questions. If you don't get pregnant, It's the conversation. If we don't get pregnant in our first year, what do we do? Do we wait? Because those are the kind of people that you'll be having as a counselor.
Exactly.
We are not having children. Then the man is upset. Then in-laws come in. When are we having a child? Even the surrogacy thing I'm saying, the in-laws will say no. Nobody can carry.
Yeah.
So this thing is deep.
Yeah.
Let's stop trivializing it as though it's just something that happens when you marry automatically. You're supposed to have children. You can have a full, lengthy conversation with your partner. What are non-negotiables, right? There are things that can be managed. Being a diabetic, being hypertensive is manageable. But it's good to know, because you don't want to be with a partner and be widowed early because the person had a stage 2 or 3 cancer and you didn't even know. I've seen couples that the guy had prostate cancer. He knew he had prostate cancer.
He didn't say anything.
He didn't say anything.
That's grounds for divorce.
As a doctor, I can't disclose.
Hey!
It's confidentiality. I can be sued. Ethics, yeah. So you can imagine what we go through.
I'm sorry. Okay, so Pastor Afia, Pastor Elizabeth, I'm sorry, she has confused me because, Mommy, Pastor Elizabeth, when it comes to a situation like that, now the wife has gotten to know that this is the husband's condition, and we all know, okay, maybe as Christians, the Bible says that the only grounds for divorce is infidelity. How then are you going to advise such a couple? Now I'm putting you on the spot, but where do we go from there? This is a horror story. How do we recover from this?
Well, I wouldn't ask you to divorce, but what I would say is that just trust in the Lord. Seek medical advice. See if there's any other way, a doctor or family doctor can do something about the situation. For instance, I also counseled a couple where the guy was impotent,
and he knew
because when he was young, I think he said he was 17, and they had an accident, and so it affected him. But then he grew to be a nice, handsome guy, and then felt like, there was nothing there. So he got married, without telling the partner. And so when they got married, she got to know, because there were no, they were not having intimacy because he was impotent, and it became a big issue. The lady was like, but how long is she going to wait? Such young couple. How long? And so the guy himself said, if you want to leave, you are free to go. It hurts me, but you are free to go. I know I should have told you. I didn't. I felt like, once, we seek medical help, everything will be okay. But if things are not going the way, we want her, then you can, if you want to leave. But do you know the emotional trauma?
It's very traumatic.
It's very, very, very traumatic.
Yeah.
And so what I would advise is that, you can just live with your partner the way it is. Trust God, believe God, or
dun dun dun.
I would say that you have every right to leave, because in the first place, your partner hid the thing from you, which was not supposed. But hey, we are to forgive and forget. And so,
it's dicey, but even from that point, because this is where the counselor and the doctor meet.
Yes.
This is the conversation. If I'm supposed to have such a couple come to me, where after some time, this is cancer. This is something that can progress. This is something that can let you lose. What I'll tell you is that there's something we call watchful waiting. So with prostate cancer, it's going to be about 10, 15, 20 years before it progresses. People that die of prostate cancer are accountable. it's not as severe as cervical cancer, quote unquote. And you can equally take the part of, because having prostate cancer doesn't mean you can't have children, but then you are not as potent. There's pre-ejaculation, there are so many other associated things that come up, and the medications you are on, if you're not on any medications, that's a very serious one. But if you're on medications, your partner should know. So the first thing is to stay informed. Once your partner tells you, this is your marriage, this is your heritage, this is what you have chosen to be, said for better, for worse. This is the worst, right? The person hid it from you. That is something that you can address, and then, like Pastor said, you can forgive. But what is the way forward? If you've had your children already, what is the point of leaving the person? Your concern would be probably you being a widow, or there being conversations about, insecurity, because if you can hide this from me, what else can you hide from me? But then get your partner to be on medications. Let him have the prostate surgery. Let's take it out. Develop at the back of your mind, you know that it is being worked on. And the emotional part would also follow. If it's impotency and the person hid it, like Pastor Elizabeth said, it's a non-negotiable. It means that you intentionally affected my life by your irresponsibility of not sharing that information. And I have every right to take the decision I make. But what is your stand as a man? You knowing that you're impotent and marrying me, are you expecting us to have kids or not? Do you want us to adopt children? Do you want me to have IUI and have someone else's semen to give us children? What do you... These are conversations you should have.
You should have,
Yes. You don't just up and leave. So the point of what I'm saying is that don't make decisions based on your emotions. Let medicine also guide you. Yes.
You allow counselors also to guide you. To help you, so that you have, one clear understanding and peace about these things.
Amazing. So now, Pastor Elizabeth, please, I'll let you go first. I think we are seeing a trend here, and it's mostly in communication and, being ill prepared. But what is the one thing that you think that should be absolutely resolved before a couple gets married? But most of the times, couples convince themselves that, it can wait.
Okay, so there are many of them, but I think I would like to touch on two. Which is, how many children they want to have. Most of the time, they don't talk about these things, like, that Afia said.
Yeah.
They don't talk about how many children do we want to have, as a couple. And so they get married, and then the woman is so fertile, and then babies are coming out. And when they are financially not, prepared for these children, and then it becomes a big deal, and so they need to talk about these issues. We want to have maybe 2, 3, gone were the days where our parents had 9, 10, 11. It's not like that
anymore.
Age. And so you need to discuss these things. People take it for granted, like that, let's just get married, and when the children come, and we just take care of them. But you have to think about the financial strength, your financial strength, maybe where you live. Can you take 3, if you're a family of 5, and you have a single room, you have problems, you have issues, and so these things you need to talk about them. And see, even some of the couples, the lady might not be strong enough. The man says, I want 6 or I want 4, and the lady might be like, no, I can't go more than 3. How many do you want to have? So the number of children needs to be discussed, which couple ignore most of the time. They don't think about. And one thing too that I realized that couples don't talk about actually is like the church they want to fellowshipping, what church they want to go to as a couple. You know, probably the lady is a Catholic and the guy is a Pentecostal, and they both play roles in their churches before they got married. Okay. And so the lady would say, oh, because I'm in the choir, I don't want to leave. The guy too, you know, is so caught up in his roles in the church. And so it creates a big tension in the home. And it gets even worse when they start having children. So where do you take the children? I counsel a lot of couples having this kind of challenge, you know, especially when it comes to spiritual things where they want to fellowship, go to church and all that. And people don't pay particular attention, you know, of these things, but it happens. It comes up when they get married, and then it creates a lot of confusion, conflict. You know, recently I counseled a couple where, you know, the same thing happened. The guy, I think the guy is a Catholic, and then the lady, you know, fellowshipped with Assemblies of God Church. And so, you know, we, in our tradition, we believe that when you get married, you follow your husband, okay? But the lady does so many things in the church, and she's been in the church for over, let's say, 15 to 20 years.
I was going to say that, like, religion itself is generational. You could be practicing what your parents practice, what their parents practice. To just take someone out of that is not easy.
It's not easy. But couples don't discuss these things, you know. And so this couple, the guy ended up going to his church, and then the wife too was coming to church with the kids, you know. But at one point, because the lady was not fellowshipping the husband, the guy started cheating in the, you know, the church. And it became a big thing. You know, the wife found out that, hey, my husband is having an affair in the church, that because the lady is not there, doesn't fellowship. And so some of these things, couples need to discuss. You know, we want to fellowship. You better get an understanding before you get into the marriage, because then it becomes a big deal. You see, I don't see why I can't follow. Like you're saying, it's not easy, but hey, you knew it, and this is what you bargained for. So you might as well, you might as well, you know, follow your husband to wherever he goes, and just to make peace and harmony. Like always, you know, hammer on this thing. And it's just these little petty things, you know, that we take for granted. But then it becomes a big issue when it is not discussed. You know, we overlook these things, and then it creates problems for us. So we need to discuss these things before we get into it.
Actually, guys, I want us to play a little game. I've got my activity bowl here, and I'm going to put you guys on the spot a little bit. I have a shuffle of questions, so I'm going to pull them out, and then depending on who is supposed to answer them, then we'll get into it. So maybe these are frequently asked questions from some of our viewers out there. So the first one goes like this. A case scenario. I have been with my fiance for 4 years, and we have never had a serious argument, not even once. My friends say that is a red flag. Is it really a red flag? Pastor Elizabeth?
Why is this a red flag? You know, it shouldn't be. I mean,
live in a toxic country.
Should this be a red flag? I mean, some people are so peaceful. They don't like conflicts. They don't like arguments. They don't like to fight, you know. And so for them to get into a fight, he would rather, you know, not get into any argument or anything at all. It's not a red flag. It's how you play your cards. It's just a matter of understanding, you know, your partner. You see, we all have temperaments. We all have our characters formed and behaviors. I cannot change my partner. He cannot change me. It will take the Holy Spirit, to change somebody, or it will take God to change somebody. For instance, if, I turned 25, 26, up to 30 before I got married, I formed my character already.
That is true too.
So my partner is not the one to come and change me, and I'm not the one to change my partner. After 30 years, living a single life, you cannot change me. So it will only take God, the conviction of the Holy Spirit to change a person, for the person to live up to your expectations. Okay, but if you try to force it and think, oh, this is how I want you to behave, this is what I want you to do, then you are asking for big trouble. Okay, and so there shouldn't be anything.
She won't thank God though that she has a man who doesn't like to argue.
And know how you play around such a person. If there's
be
no
careful
fight.
who you listen to.
Yes, be careful when you listen to that.
Why would your friends say already?
Yeah,
Yeah.
You be wise about it.
Question 2. My fiance and I have been together for 5 years. She has been hinting at starting a family almost immediately after the wedding. I am not ready, but I do not know how to tell her without hurting her. How do I have this conversation? Who wants to go first? Dr. Afia?
This is a conversation you should have had before you even married.
No, I think they're engaged. They're not married yet, but
she's thinking of starting a family.
She wants to start immediately, and he says he's not ready.
So in this circumstance, you have to let her know that your reason, like, you don't just get up and say I'm not ready. If it's finances, let her know that, oh, baby girl, I'm just not financially ready. Let's give ourselves a year. With this kind of conversation, I advise that you give a specific time frame. Don't just leave the person in the loop and say that, oh, I'm not ready to have kids now. What does that mean? This is a lifetime journey. You don't want to have kids now, can be 5 years,
How
can
ready
be 10.
can you be?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
what are you waiting
be
for?
definite. Okay, maybe the first 3 months. I think we should wait things out and let's see how it goes. So let's give ourselves a year. And then see her reaction to it, because with that conversation will come family planning. If you're not ready to have a family, then who is going to sacrifice? Or you want to be the couple that uses condoms, that's fine. But don't approach the conversation in just, okay, this is what I want. And I understand his hesitation because it might not be well received. So he then has to plan how he wants to put it so that it will be well received, and be specific with timelines, and have the conversation of, okay, how do we wait? Are we going to do family planning? Are we? Because if that's the case and quote unquote mistakes happen, because you are going to be intimate with your partner.
That's right.
So she misses her period right after the wedding. What do you do? Will you start the whole wedding, the whole marriage? Is that what you want?
You trapped me.
You trapped.
It's going to be the thing. Yeah. Next question. My future mother-in-law has already told me how many children she expects us to have and when. My fiance thinks this is normal. I shouldn't make it a big deal, but it is a big deal to me. Who is right, Pastor Elizabeth?
Oh boy. This is absolutely a no. For mother-in-law to dictate to the couple as to how many kids or when they should have
And
kids.
When? How many and when?
How many and when?
Yeah.
No. I think once you get married, in-laws, we advise them, let your children marry. Allow them to make their own decisions. Be responsible, to themselves and accountable to themselves. Don't go in there dictating to them as to, what they must do and what they must not do. I think we have a saying that, you leave, you cleave, and you become one flesh. Okay? And so once you leave with everything. You leave family. It doesn't mean you should ignore your family, but you leave that responsibility of your parents taking care of you, dictating to you, telling you what you should do and what you shouldn't do, and be responsible. Make your own decisions, So for me, it's a no.
Yeah.
The lady is right.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a no.
Okay.
Mother-in-law shouldn't come.
Let me just button.
Yeah.
Just button there. So the guiding principle for this, that would be a winning argument for you, the lady, is this is what your mom is saying. This is what your mom has said. First of all, do you agree with her? Because she's saying it, well, that's what we want. That's the first guiding principle. Secondly, you know what is most disheartening? Your in-law can tell you how many children and when. But when you give birth, is she being the one to carry the children or pay their school fees or sacrifice her career to stay with them? Do you understand? You can't dictate how the marriage should go because you don't even know how long you have to live. You don't even know the kind of input that will be needed, the kind of complications that could come up with pregnancy, postpartum depression. Are you going to be there? So leave the couple to handle that so that when the consequences come, they handle it as a couple because they agreed. Now, you see, the problem that I have with this is that later on, if she decides to keep quiet because you're already at that point and she's like, okay, let me just pray about it, that's fine. But later on in the marriage, if something happens, she will then say that it's because your mother said it. Right. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And it would forever be a problem in the house because the man too is a mommy's boy. You can't talk about my mom like that. Exactly. You can't talk about my mom like that. Then now you are allowing your in-law to be
the third person in the marriage.
That's serious.
This is getting heated. Let's just do a couple more. My fiance's father has a hereditary condition. My fiance knows and has never been tested. He says there is no point worrying about something that has not happened yet. I lie awake thinking about it. How do I make him understand that I am not being dramatic?
How do you make him understand that you're not being dramatic? Like, how to make him understand? How do I answer this question?
He says that, okay, fine, my father had whatever.
Yes, but I've not had it yet.
Yes, I haven't tested, so since it hasn't happened yet, why are we worrying about it?
The beauty of it is that marriage is a journey. An infinite journey, meaning that you don't have any plans off. So draw the person's attention that since it's hereditary, at some point in your life, it might appear. It's like knowing that you have, like for the woman, knowing that you have a family history of breast cancer, and you are telling your partner that your breasts are fine, you don't have any lumps, so you don't see why you should check for breast cancer or do any genetic screening,
or let your partner
know. And then later on, 5-10 years, because marriage is a long time, it pops up and then you're like, oh, I told you my mom had it, so the person should deal with it. That's what she is facing right now. That how is she going to communicate that, this is something you should take? So let him know that this is something that has the potential to affect your marriage in future. If it's hereditary, it means that even if it misses him, his son might get it.
Very true.
So he should pay attention to it. You are not asking. You have to know how to get your man to do something. You are not asking him to. You are not saying it's a defining factor for you guys to get married. But you just want him to test and then see a doctor and take the necessary precautions because you want him to be with you for a long time. Know how to soothe him. You want him to be with you for a long time. You don't want a situation where things take you unaware. So please, just do it for me.
Incredible. Let me say something. You see, it all depends on how you approach your partner. You don't, like she rightly said, Dr. Afia rightly said, marriage is a long journey. You don't just go in and then come out. And so if this is the person that you are going to live with for the rest of your life, you need to sit with him, show a little bit of empathy, and then talk to your partner, let them know, show love, show a bit of
Respect.
respect, and talk about issues in a nice loving manner way, where he or she will even feel like being judged or being condemned for something that runs in the family. You get me? Yeah. So it's how you go about the whole situation, how you approach your partner.
Even to add to that, like, I just remember the story when you're talking. It's a very young couple, very accomplished. The woman is a lawyer. She's well accomplished. The husband is well to do. The woman is from a very good, politically good home. Now, I mean, there's something we call the invisible suitcase, which is mental health. You are carrying mental health, but nobody knows. You see, all this while we are talking about physical labs to do. We are not talking about mental health. And so they've been a couple for some time. 5 years married. They are not having any child, and she's had 2 failed IVFs. They have the money. IVF is not a problem, but they do IVF and it's failing. Naturally too, they are not conceiving. Guys, this woman came to the facility all over the place, and all of a sudden she's uttering certain words. She's demanding for her husband. You tell her something she's not understanding, she'll just barge to a room and start making noise. She was literally going insane. Like, the depression had gone, it had passed a certain threshold. She was now hallucinating. Now she's calling her husband is not picking. He's frustrated, he's drained, because on top of the financial pressure, they're dealing with her hormones and she not being pregnant, and then failed IVF. Like, there's already tension in the home, and then now the woman is going crazy, quote unquote. I've never seen, it was like a movie. He just wanted to be by himself, and she needs you. Like, she needs you to be there, because she's not well. She's on medications now for her mental health. So it's later that we realized that an auntie of hers had also had a mental health issue, and it never popped up until she was like 38, and she wants a child, and she's now having the mental issue. And it's called the invisible suitcase. We don't talk about, you carry it and nobody even knows that you're carrying mental health. And how would she ever think that she has any bipolar or anything? She wouldn't know. Like, what test are you going to do? You wouldn't know. But then once there's a family history, at least at the back of your partner's head, this is something that sort of runs in the family. So let's not get ourselves there, because it means that she's probably had those traits, but then not having a child and the kind of stress she was in has triggered it.
Oh my God.
So it shows up 5 years later in marriage, and now the man, he literally frustrated because like, the woman doesn't want him to leave. Like, she's scared. Don't go. I have to go to work. I have to live a life. I have to get you food. Do you understand? So when we say marriage is long, we know what we are saying, because we've seen stories, we've heard things. Do you understand? We might understand better. So my point is, yes, even though we are saying that before, always do this before, be open-minded. Once you are getting married, be open-minded, because life happens. That's why we vow, for better, for worse, because you don't know what you might find out. But if you have an idea of what the person's family, even when we say family history, Pastor, it's not even just about medicine. Family history, has there been divorce in your family? Male and female, because even that affects the kind of partner you have. Are there any successful marriages in your family? Oh, this is family history. Do you understand?
Right.
And even the spiritual part of it, if there's a certain pattern where the women in your family always give birth before they marry. You should pick that up spiritually and know that this is something that could happen to me. What kind of prayers, what intercession am I doing before? Even inside the marriage, is it that always is the woman in the house that end up leaving? 50 of marriage they've left. You should detect that pattern. So these past family history and past medical history, it's a broad thing. You do not trivialize it because you love someone. Love the person is not enough. It can never be enough. If you never understood what love is not enough to get married, this is what it means.
Yeah.
Pastor Elizabeth, you have this lovely box in front of you. Do you want to tell us about it? I can see some inscriptions. Forever together.
Right.
Okay. What's that about?
Forever together. Okay, this is a lovely package. Like I initially said, I do appearances at bridal showers and then wedding ceremonies where I help the couple cut their cake or I'm invited to a bridal shower and then I pray with the bride. Okay, I make declarations into her life. We sing songs, praises, worship, and then we get the whole place charged and all that. But with this box, it's a package for married couples. It has quite a few beautiful things in there. I'll open it for you to see. But then it's a package for like married couples. You can buy it as a gift to a couple, or the couples can buy themselves for themselves to use at home. It has beautiful things in there, like well packaged. As you can see, this box is, I have like a picture frame.
Okay.
Beautiful for the couple. The first wedding pictures can go.
I will give it to the husbands. They should put their wedding picture on their office desk. Yes, please.
You see? And then I also have beautiful scented candles.
Ooh.
So this is so unique. And the aroma is just so lovely. So beautiful. Yeah. You light this candle and the whole room.
Wow. You set a mood.
Yes.
Yeah. Set a mood.
And so I have two in there. It's not just one, but there are two scented candles in there.
Right.
And then also I have the couple's devotional, daily devotional. Okay. This is so wonderful that for your devotion, you can you read, I mean, you take turns and then you read to each other. You learn a lot from this devotional book. It says 30-minute weekly devotions to grow in faith and joy from I do to ever after. This is so wonderful. It's very lovely. You will love it. And then also I have this beautiful plant.
Oh, a desk plant.
Yes,
That's
a
cute.
desk plant. So cute. And it has a golden
Golden pot.
It's not common. And so you can have it in your office or in the living room, somewhere in the living room or in your bedroom. This will remind you of your wedding together. Coming together is so nice and lovely. I see a lot of young couples using them, and people order these things. They I've sold a lot.
It's a thoughtful gift.
I sold what I have there now is the last batch, just a few. I've sold a lot because people really love, and this is a jar full of daily nuggets.
Wow.
Daily nuggets that I came up with. It's not from somebody. Like, you see nuggets like, don't give your wife flowers whilst she's alive. Don't wait till she dies before you buy expensive flowers and put it on her
Mr. Kumasa, please, are you listening?
Don't wait till she dies before you. So it speaks volume.
Yeah.
It speaks to you. No, you don't wait.
Pastor
And so it
Elizabeth,
tells
can I
you.
open it and pick just one? We'll put
Sure,
it back. I'll
sure,
be very careful.
Sure.
I want to pick. I'm not a pink girl, so I'm going to go for a pink one. And let's see one of the nuggets that maybe we can uncover. This one says, to the husband and wife, who is your yardstick in the marriage? Is it man or Christ? So that is something for you guys to think about.
To talk about this, is who is your yardstick? Is it man or Christ? When people get married and then they are having issues, they tell you, oh, even this pastor did this, so if I did it, what's wrong with it? Oh, this person did that, and so if I did it, who is your yardstick? Is it the person that you are looking up to, or you want the standard that Christ has set? God has set standards in His Word, and these are principles or standards that we must live by.
Definitely.
Okay, and not man. So you read these things, and it speaks to you.
Yeah.
You think about them, and it speaks to you. So they're so beautiful.
It is beautiful indeed. Thank you, Pastor Elizabeth.
Order one. Very
yes,
soon,
please, guys.
I'll be out of them. They sell like hotcakes.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I like that nugget.
Honestly.
Because people do that a lot. They see a couple, oh, I tap into this marriage. I want this marriage. Oh, these people are my power couple. These people are my couple goals. So it's important for us to know that we are following God and Jesus Christ. Right. Thank you, Pastor Elizabeth. Now, any famous last words? I want you both to briefly tell us any advices that you would have for couples who are planning to get married, who might be in a serious dating phase, an engaged phase. What would you tell them? What is their takeaway from today?
The main thing I can say is two separate individuals who are coming together in holy matrimony, in holy unity. Emphasis on two separate individuals. So it starts with knowing yourself as a person. It's only by knowing yourself that you can properly cleave to another person. So medically, it's essential that you know who you are spiritually, physically, emotionally, so that now when you meet someone, you know if the person is compatible with you on all those parameters. You cannot assess compatibility if you do not know who you are. So there's a book I have. It's called What Every Woman Should Know. The lab tests, red flags, everything based on how old you are. So in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s, up until menopause. Just so you know what to expect in the coming years as a woman. You can just type What Every Woman Should Know. It's available everywhere. It's an ebook. And for the men, I'm still developing something, but it's very essential that you know yourself, you know your baseline, you are confident with yourself, and that's only when you can properly cleave to another person and then bring offsprings that are going to be a representation of both of you.
Beautiful. Pastor Elizabeth.
Okay, I would also say that, don't get too excited and then forget yourself. Lay a solid foundation. Do your background check. Make sure you know exactly what you are getting into. Is he working? Is she working? Where is she from? Her background. Has she been married before? Has he been married before? Does he have any child already? And all these things are background checks that people don't really, they get so excited about wearing a wedding gown, the reception and all those things. They fantasize all these things, leaving the most essential part of it. So please do your background check, lay a solid foundation, which is built on Christ, and don't take your partner for granted.
Just look at somebody saying her friend said her calm partner is a red flag. You are taking the person's calmness for granted.
Yeah. And then, don't hide your struggles. make them open. If you have any challenges, if you have anything that some of them we have discussed, in their family, make sure you check all these things. Sit, have a fruitful conversation, discussions about these things before you get in. And then I believe, and don't overspend. Hey, this time with the weddings that are coming, I tell you, I mean, if you have the money and your parents are ready to spend on you, splash you with extravagant decor and whatever, well, that's no problem. Maybe that's what they want to do for you, but then don't compare yourself to other people and overspend. The spending comes when you really live under the same roof. Okay, that's when you start spending. And if you are not ready, you might have problems in the marriage. So don't overspend. After all, you're not competing with anybody. You want the best out of your marriage. Don't put yourselves under stress, too much stress by overspending. And then I hear people even go as far as getting loans for their marriages. This is really a red flag to begin with. Yes, it's a no, because once you get married, these things, or these debt you have to pay. Where is it going to come from?
Yeah.
Avoid these things and try and make your wedding as simple as possible. Have a happily, married ceremony where you enjoy each other more and then live happily ever after.
Thank you. Thank you both for coming today. I really enjoyed your company. Thank you so much. And Tribe, you have heard from the experts. I mean, what more can we say? We hope you got the education that you needed. So before you say I do, you know the questions that you should be asking. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. This has been Once Upon a Wedding Global. I'm your host, Efodide. And we want to say a big thank you to our sponsors, Food Booth and Awula by Ali. We'll catch you in the comments.